So with that said, there's usually a lot of mistakes made by people that have been detained by the police for whatever reason. To protect their rights, what should someone do?
My response to that, for somebody who's been detained by the police for the investigation of a DUI offense, would obviously be different than for somebody who's accused of sexual harassment or molestation or something like that. So in general, the things to consider when the police come to you, they've detained you, they've told you you're not free to leave, then you do have to provide identifying information to them. However, when they ask if they can have consent to search your car or to search your house, a lot of people mistakenly assume, well, if I tell the cop he can search my car, they'll say, oh, well, he's got nothing to hide and they won't bother. When in fact, telling a police officer that they have your permission to search is like waving red meat in front of a hungry dog. They will take advantage of that opportunity to then conduct that search, and you will have no way of challenging that later on if in fact you gave them a voluntary permission to conduct the search that resulted in them finding evidence that now they're going to use against you. The other areas when police officers ask questions, as I mentioned earlier, you do have to give them identifying information, who you are, and if you're driving, you have to provide them with a driver's license, you have to provide registration and proof of insurance. On the street, however, you would only have to identify yourself, tell them who you are and where you live. Beyond that, when they start to ask, they move from identification questions into investigative questions. This would be the time, again, most people think, well, if I talk to the cops, they'll think I'm a great guy, and then they won't bother me. When in actuality, all you're doing is you're providing them, A, with additional evidence, either by you making a statement against your interest, or you provide the opportunity for them to mishear what you said, or you provide them with the opportunity to misreport what you said. And all of those are bad things. In my experience, if the police have decided to arrest you anyway, they're only asking the questions in order to get your statements that they will then be able to put as their icing on the cake when they present the case to the prosecutor. Rarely have I seen a circumstance where when police have thought that this was the person they were going to arrest and now they ask them investigative questions, that somehow magically something the person says causes the police to change their minds and not arrest that person. It doesn't often happen. It's on my pens, it's on my literature. It's an old saying, I got it from a retired cop many, many years ago. Admit nothing, deny everything, demand proof. That's your strongest weapon when the cops are trying to elicit evidence from your own statements.